As we promised in our last episode, we are stepping just outside the Louvre's courtyard to find a grand royal palace that you can no longer see today. It has completely vanished from the map of Paris. Today, we are exploring the dramatic history of the lost Tuileries Palace, walking through its breathtaking royal gardens and finding out how a place built on clay and tile factories became the fierce heart of the French monarchy. Let's get right into it. In 1564, the Queen of France, Catherine de Medici, mother of 3 kings, wished to build a new suburban palace for herself and design a beautiful garden right next to it. That is how the story of the Tuileries began. The name actually comes from the French word tuile, meaning tile. Before the palace was built, this area was just the outskirts of the city, where workers dug up clay and manufactured roof tiles. The palace itself was never fully completed during the Queen's lifetime, but the garden was successfully created in the Italian style that was highly fashionable at the time. A century later, Louis XIV decided to completely redesign the space. He handed the project to André Le Nôtre, a royal gardener from a legendary family of landscapers, who would later go on to create the iconic gardens of Versailles. Interestingly, Le Nôtre's grandfather had actually served as a gardener right here at the Tuileries, under Catherine de Medici. You could say the grandson simply continued the family business, transforming the old Italian layout into a true masterpiece of the French formal style. Since then, its core look has remained practically unchanged for over 150 years. For a very long time, the Tuileries Palace remained the true heart of the French monarchy. It served as a home to Catherine de Medici, Louis XIV, and as we mentioned when exploring his favorite spots, Napoleon Bonaparte. But its history took a tragic turn during the Paris Commune in May 1871. Revolutionary forces didn't just set the palace on fire, they methodically packed it with barrels of gunpowder, tar, and turpentine. The resulting explosion and fire raged for 3 entire days, lighting up the Parisian sky and reducing the majestic royal residence to ashes. And while firefighters managed to save the neighboring Louvre, the Tuileries was almost entirely destroyed by the flames. For years, its burnt-out shell just stood there, until 11 years later, the ruins were finally demolished. Today, the only physical reminders of the palace are the outlines of its original foundation and the layout of the garden where this magnificent structure once stood. Well, there is one more thing. The Arc de Triomphe du Carrousel, which we now see standing out in the open in front of the Louvre, originally served as the grand ceremonial entrance to the Tuileries Palace. So, those furious revolutionaries didn't manage to destroy absolutely everything. Today, the Tuileries Garden is not just the oldest French-style park in Paris, but also one of its most historically significant spaces. Its beauty and elegance are genuinely stunning, filled with grand fountains, original 18th-century marble statues, rows of vibrant flowers, and ancient trees that have witnessed multiple kings and revolutions. And of course, you can't miss the iconic green metal chairs scattered around the fountains. They've been a staple of the park since the 19th century, allowing locals and travelers to just sit back and take it all in. The sheer amount of greenery and color gives this place an incredibly peaceful atmosphere. Strolling through the park at a relaxed pace, we eventually find ourselves walking right out onto the Place de la Concorde. But that massive square holds a dark and fascinating history of its own. So let's save that story for our very next episode. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our walk through Paris's most famous square. Drop a comment below about what surprised you most about this vanished palace, and I'll see you in the next video.